Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining the virtual Meet the Grad event for Nursing, PSW, Allied Health, and Health Studies. My name is Wendy Mackey, and I'm the Director of Alumni Relations at Mohawk College. And it's my pleasure to be your host and guide you through the different sessions taking place this afternoon. Meet the Grad is a long-standing event at Mohawk that has provided a great opportunity for students to build connections with graduates working in their field of study and to learn about current sector trends. As you can see, we are doing things just a little bit differently this year. While we are not able to meet in person, we hope you enjoy hearing from and networking with the Mohawk alumni and industry professionals with us this afternoon. We have a great lineup of panel discussions and employer exhibitor booths that are designed to help you and support you in planning for life after Mohawk. This year's Meet the Grad event is hosted in partnership with Alumni Relations, Student and Graduate Employment, Co-op, and Mohawk faculty. Before we begin, even though you are joining us from your home, we are virtually gathered at Mohawk College. And it's important for us to remember and to acknowledge that Mohawk College is situated on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe nations, with lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement, and is currently home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. We will begin today's event with remarks from our keynote speaker, followed by two alumni and industry panels focused on different areas of health sciences and health studies. These panels will begin at 4:45 and will feature alumni from personal support worker, social sciences, health, wellness and fitness, recreation therapy, massage therapy, and human resources. After the panel discussions at 5:30, you will have an opportunity to visit employer exhibitor booths. You will find both the panels and employer exhibitor booths along the top menu and on the right-hand side of your screen. Once you select your choice, it will bring you to a new page where that event will take place. We encourage you to connect with our alumni and to ask questions in the chat box. If you have any questions or difficulty navigating the virtual event platform throughout the event, we have staff on hand to support you. All you simply need to do is email alumni@mohawkcollege.ca at any point, and they'll help you through. To begin this afternoon's virtual event, it is now my pleasure to introduce our alumni keynote speaker, Lisa Cook. Lisa Cook is a registered pharmacy technician currently working at Tratina Pharmacy in Ancaster. Her journey as a pharmacy technician started back in 2002 when she enrolled in the pharmacy program at Mohawk College. Since then, Lisa has worked for Marchese Health, Juravinski Hospital, PharmaSave, Mohawk College, and her current employer, Tratina Pharmacy, gaining knowledge and skills that have led her to where she is today. Her experience has allowed her to focus on what she loves about pharmacy, which is working in the specialized field of sterile compounding. Lisa, we are excited to have you join us today to share your career journey with our students. Without further ado, I pass the microphone over to you.
All right, can you hear me okay? All right. Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Mohawk College for asking me to be a part of this Meet the Grad event. I'm very excited to share my work experience with you, and hopefully someone can take something away from the job journey that I have had. As you already know, my name is Lisa Cook, and I am a registered pharmacy tech at a company called Tratina Pharmacy. My journey as a pharmacy tech started back in 2001 at Mohawk College there. And I was actually enrolled in the very first pharmacy tech program that they had to offer. During the course, I fell in love with the compounding, the sterile and non-sterile compounding programs. And that's where I knew I wanted my job journey to kind of go and head in that direction. So that was kind of the career goal that I made as I graduated college. And hopefully you guys also have some goals and some specialty areas that maybe you want to head to as well. Once I graduated, I started to apply to several different pharmacies. I applied everywhere. I really didn't think my dream job was going to fall into my lap right off the get-go. So, you know, just getting some experience under my belt was kind of what I was hoping for at first. I ended up applying to a company called Marchese Healthcare. And they do sterile compounding. And that was exactly what I was looking for and hoping for, but I didn't hold my breath for that job to actually pan out for me. My interview was a disaster. I was extremely nervous, and it was something that I left there thinking there's not a chance that I would get the job. But to my surprise, they ended up hiring me, and I spent 5 years working for Marchese Healthcare in the sterile compounding area. Halfway through my time there, I became the lead sterile compounding tech. And so that put me in charge of making schedules, ordering, doing interviews, policies and procedures. So there was a lot of new roles that I fell into with that. And since I had accumulated so much experience within Marchese's, I actually got approached by the head of the pharmacy program to help teach the sterile compounding class. So even though I was working full-time at Marchese's, it's something that I really wanted to make work because it was great experience and something great to add to my resume. And after being there for 5 years at Marchese's, I felt like something was missing from my experience. I wanted to branch out. I wanted something more. It was the first job I had ever had, so I didn't know what else was out there. I knew that working in a hospital was very, I guess, the job to have back then when I first graduated. And that was something that was always in the back of my head, was the what if I liked the hospital better? What if the hospital had more to offer me? So when a job came up in the OR department as a specialty pharmacy tech within the OR department, I decided to apply, and I ended up getting that job as well. So within that role, I would stock the OR rooms. I worked hand in hand with the anesthetists to, I guess, be at their beck and call for any medications that they needed for their surgeries. I worked with the nurses very closely and the surgeons as well. Now, with that role, though, I really started realizing what I was missing, and I didn't really get to do a lot of sterile compounding in that role. So it was the job that opened my eyes to the fact that I really wanted to have that as my career path, was doing the specialty compounding, whether it be sterile or non-sterile, it didn't matter. I just needed that hands-on aspect of the job. So that was something that I decided after about a year, I would start looking for another position. So at that time, I had stumbled on a very vague job posting that was basically compounding pharmacy looking for pharmacy technician. So this wasn't really a job I had high expectations for, but I thought I would apply anyways, just to kind of see what it was about. You never know. And so I did that. The interview was very random also. The owner just kept working the whole time while he asked me questions. And by the end of the interview, he had offered me the job, and I just had a really good feeling about this place. So I decided that I would make a huge leap to a very unknown pharmacy. And it was something that I just felt like I needed to do. So I took the position, and that was 13 years ago, which I am currently, oh, I'm getting some feedback. So now I've currently been in this role for 13 years at Tratina Pharmacy. I was the very first pharmacy tech that he had ever hired. And so I'm now the lead sterile compounder and supervisor. So I still am responsible for all the training of new staff, scheduling, planning, and I pretty much work hand in hand with the owner and the pharmacy owner. So it's been a very exciting journey at this pharmacy, and it's something that I think I would have regretted if I didn't take the leap into something unknown. So that's my job journey in a nutshell. So I just wanted to kind of offer you guys a little bit of advice that I've learned along the way that hopefully you can take away with you in your future applying for new jobs and things like that. When you're going for an interview, know the company you're applying to. It's very impressive when someone comes in and is able to offer knowledge on the company. If I don't have to sit there and spout off what the whole company is about, that's great. It cuts off a lot on the interview, and it shows that you're really interested. Practice your interview questions. There's a lot of questions out there that are scenario type questions that if you're not prepared for them, you kind of fumble all over the place, just like I did in my first interview. And it's something that if you're prepared for it, you'll feel confident, and hopefully it'll get you the job in the end. Don't ever hold yourself back because of somebody else. If you are in a job and you have friends at the job, but you don't love the job, that's something I think in the future you would end up regretting. In a job setting, always own up to your own mistakes. So if you ever make a mistake, especially in the healthcare field, that's so important to not try and hide something. Human error happens, and it's something that I think is very important that people don't end up doing on the job. Don't bring your work home with you. This can create a very stressful environment at home. I have been there, and it takes a little bit of a wake-up call to realize how much tension and stress you end up bringing home from a job sometimes. Always leave a job on good terms. If you are working somewhere and you are holding a grudge over something, always part in good terms, because you never know when that person could turn around and you need them in the future. So, every profession is a small world, and somebody knows somebody, and you don't want to burn any bridges for future career opportunities. In a job, always worry about what you're doing. Don't worry about the work other people aren't doing. It's something that I've seen time and time again, where their work ethic starts to slide because they're so worried about what the next person is doing within the job. And you are the only one that can initiate your career. So if you want something, if you are interested in a position, you're the only one that can advocate for yourself. People don't know that you want a new job or are looking for something more if you don't speak up. The worst case scenario, people are going to say no, but at least you tried, because you never strike out if you don't try. So, and just a few things that I've learned along the way. Money isn't everything. Money is nice to have, and a job might look nice and shiny if it has a bigger paycheck, but sometimes happiness does outweigh that aspect of work. Sometimes bosses and coworkers hold grudges if you move on. This is normal. And a lot of times it's because they're upset that they're losing a good employee or whatever it may be. But there are those jobs that you have where people get upset with you if you're going to move on to another profession. And that's not a reason to hold yourself back from anything either. This is your life and your career, so you need to create the path for yourself. There are company politics everywhere, whether small or big. You'll always run into it. So that's not something that, if you're searching the never-ending road for a place that has no company politics, that is not going to exist. There's always something new to learn in your career. So don't ever hold yourself back. Knowledge is power, power is knowledge. So, teaching yourself and expanding is the best type of thing you can do for your career and the future. Always be open to criticism. Hopefully it's constructive, whoever is giving it to you, but this helps you build yourself and build your career and make yourself a better employee. And the last thing I have learned is don't judge a job by its posting, because if I had have done that, I never would have ended up in the dream job that I love, and am so happy to have been there for 13 years and counting now. And that's it.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Lisa. You shared your amazing career journey with us and some really sound words of advice and insight for our students to take with them as they move on to life after Mohawk. We appreciate your time today and look forward to staying connected with you. And just before we head off, I'd like to extend a big thank you to our guest speakers and organizers of the Meet the Grad event. This event wouldn't have been possible with all of your support. And once again, I'd like to thank our students and recent graduates who've joined us today. We hope you enjoy your sessions and connecting with our Mohawk graduates. Have a great afternoon and thanks for joining us.